Welcome back, fight fans, for another UFC Fight Night betting recap and Draftkings picks review. Tonight we were in Paris, France for UFC Fight Night Imavov vs. Baralho. This card was as tough as expected, with several close fights, underdogs showing up, and a few surprising finishes that definitely shook up the betting landscape. Overall, it was an exciting night full of TKO and KO finishes, and I believe it was the second UFC Fight Night that ended with majority of KO-TKO finishes, and we had a very profitable night with a great 87% success rate, and many of my parlays and straight bets paying off handsomely. I can honestly say that it was an awesome night for me. Now let's break it all down fight by fight and see where we hit, where we missed, and how our Draftkings exposures played out. Main event. Nassourdine Imavov defeated Caio Baralho by decision in the middleweight division. What a performance by Nassourdine Imavov in front of his home crowd. He kept the fight standing just like we said was his best path, and he used his sharp boxing movement and timing to pick apart Baralho over 5 rounds. Baralho had moments with his grappling, but he couldn't control Imavov long enough to sway the fight. Big win for the Frenchman. On Draftkings, our 35% Imavov exposure came through, while the 55% Baralho side didn't hit as we expected. Co-main event, Benoit Saint-Denis defeated Mauricio Ruffi by submission in the lightweight division. This fight lived up to the hype. Benoit Saint-Denis once again showed why he's called the God of War. He brought insane pressure mixed in heavy hands with suffocating grappling, and overwhelmed Ruffi. Ruffi had his moments, especially early with sharp counters, but Saint-Denis just broke him down. Our pick of Saint-Denis was on point, and with 40% Draftkings exposure, this fight worked out very well for us. Modestas Bukauskas defeated Paul Craig by knockout in the light heavyweight division. This one went exactly how we called it. Bukauskas used his striking and movement to stay out of Craig's grappling traps. Craig desperately wanted it to hit the mat, but Modestas shut him down and picked him apart on the feet. We had Bukauskas as the pick with 25% Draftkings exposure, and it paid off. Mason Jones defeated Balaji Oki by technical knockout in the lightweight division. Jones looked fantastic here. Oki had some speed and early striking success, but once Jones blended in his takedowns and pressure, it became one-sided. Jones used his wrestling to wear Oki down and secure the win by referee stoppage. Our pick of Jones was on target, and the 40% exposure cashed in nicely. Axel Sola defeated Rhys McKee by TKO in the welterweight division. This was a close fight early, but Sola's striking and composure really gave him the edge. McKee stayed tough and kept pushing forward, but Sola just looked sharper and landed the more effective shots. Our pick was Sola, who won by TKO, and with about 1/4 Draftkings exposure, this worked out exactly how we planned it. William Gomis got the win over Robert Ruchala by decision in the featherweight bout. The Paris crowd absolutely loved this one. Gomis stayed patient, used his striking and range well, and kept Ruchala on the outside. Ruchala showed a lot of toughness, but Gomis was clearly the more experienced fighter in there. We picked Gomis, which paid off handsomely for a few of my parlays, and the 35% Draftkings exposure added to a strong night. Umar Sy defeated Brenson Ribeiro by TKO in the light heavyweight division. Just as predicted, Umar Sy really delivered in a showcase performance. He controlled the fight with his power striking and takedown game, while Ribeiro just struggled to find any rhythm at all. Our 55% exposure on Sy was honestly one of the safest calls of the night, and it paid off big. Ante Delija got the knockout win over Marcin Tybura in the heavyweight bout. In their rematch 10 years later, Delija proved it wasn't a fluke. Tybura's grinding style just wasn't enough this time, as Delija landed the harder shots and kept it standing long enough to get the KO. We leaned Delija in a low-confidence pick, and this one ended up working out. With 35% Draftkings exposure, we were in a good spot here, with 4 parlays paying out very well. Cowboy Fernandez defeated Harry Hardwick by TKO in the lightweight division. Honestly, Fernandez's striking was the difference. He kept the fight standing, worked his jab, and really stayed composed, even when Hardwick tried to grapple. Fernandez's kicking game was just on another level, and man, he broke Hardwick down so much that Hardwick actually had to be carried out of the octagon. Our pick was Fernandez, and with 35% Draftkings exposure, this was a clean win for us. Moving on, Sam Patterson defeated Trey Waters by TKO at welterweight. This was one of our low-confidence fights, and yeah, it really played out that way. Patterson struggled to get going at first, but that changed pretty quickly, and Waters actually took advantage with his length and power. In the end though, Patterson proved to have more power in his punches and got the TKO win. We had minimal exposure here, 8% on both sides, so honestly, no real damage done. Brad Tavares defeated Robert Bricek by TKO in the middleweight division. Veteran savvy came through here. Tavares used his experience, mixed in some grappling, and really controlled the pace to get the win. We had Tavares picked, and our 40% Draftkings exposure was another strong play. Next up, Rinat Fakhretdinov defeated Andreas Gustafsson by TKO at welterweight. Here's one we missed. Gustafsson showed some solid moments, but Rinat's pressure and relentless pace were just too much. He kept the pressure on and wore Gustafsson down. We leaned Gustafsson in the prediction, so yeah, this was a miss on our part. Thankfully, exposure was moderate at 35% Gustafsson and 15% Rinat, so the damage was contained. Sam Hughes defeated Shauna Bannon in women's strawweight. No surprises here. Hughes was the stronger fighter, moved forward, and landed the heavier shots all fight long. Bannon just couldn't match the power or pace. Our pick was Hughes, and the 30% Draftkings exposure hit nicely. And that's the recap for UFC Paris Imavov vs Baralho. Overall, it was a strong night for our picks. We hit on the majority of fights, had solid exposure on the right fighters, and even though we missed on a couple of calls, the bankroll strategy paid off. We had a great evening with a strong prediction success rate and strong returns on my straight bets, parlays, and Draftkings pick. Let me know in the comments how your bets and Draftkings lineups turned out tonight. If you enjoyed the recap, please like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fight Night breakdowns and betting content. Until next time, good luck and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will be back next week with another UFC fight card prediction and Draftkings prediction video, so stay tuned.